What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today we're doing the next installment of the Southern Plains Model Airport series. Today we're here in Missouri as we're going to be taking a look at the Springfield Branson National Airport. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started here with Springfield. So Springfield is a pretty solid airport. They've had some nice additions over the years, and I'm really excited to talk about what we have going here at SGF. So we'll start with some airport history, followed up by some general information, and then of course we'll conduct the airport update. So Springfield was originally opened as the Springfield Greene County Airport on July 2nd, 1945. It was really cool to see the various bonds that they had in place, and then some of the first carriers to fly into Springfield include American Airlines in 1945. They pulled out in 1963, but eventually would come back. We also had service from Ozark with DC-9s in the mid-1960s as well. Also note how this airport opened so much later, so not as many props, but still a great handful. But American Airlines had a big presence, Ozark had a big presence as well. And then in 1992, the airport was renamed to the Springfield Branson Regional Airport before being renamed in 2006 to the Springfield Branson National Airport. So that's really cool. Springfield is about an hour north of Branson. I'll tell a little story here in a moment because I have been in the area before, so I'll kind of tell what's going on with that. But nevertheless, it serves both Springfield and the majority of the traffic going into Branson, so that's really cool. And there's been some other changes as well, but the wiki honestly was very brief, only 4 paragraphs with regards to the history. But they've had some good air service over the years. US Airways was here for until they merged with American, so they established many of the services that we'll be taking a look at in today's video, and then some other great services too. So it's absolutely fantastic to see what we've seen for the progression here at the Springfield Branson National Airport. So let's go ahead and talk about what you can expect here during this airport update. So we do have 4 airlines here: Delta, United, American, and Allegiant. Allegiant uses Gate 2, and they have a variety of services. They are the newest carrier here, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I believe they started service probably in the early 2010s. But Allegiant Air has quite a variety of services. They have year-round service to Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Orlando, Sanford, Phoenix Mesa, Punta Gorda, which is probably the coolest route at the airport in my opinion, and St. Petersburg, Clearwater. And they also have seasonal service to Destin, which is fantastic. This airport has had some previous Allegiant services, unfortunately, that were terminated, including Austin and Houston Hobby, which I thought were both really good ones. Unfortunate to see that they weren't able to keep those established. Next, we have Delta. They have one lone service to Atlanta. I cannot confirm whether they've had previous Delta services or not, but I know Atlanta's been here for the long haul, so you see them over there on the left side of your screen. United has 3 services, so it's awesome to see the dedication here from United on their regional jets. They fly to Chicago, Denver, and Houston as expected, so we'll talk about the frequencies and how those operate once we get there here in a little bit. And American Airlines is by far the largest carrier here at the airport, as they have a variety of gates over there. You're seeing currently 3, because 2 of those are positional gates, and we'll talk about that as well. And they currently fly to Charlotte, Chicago O'Hare, Dallas, and there's one other I thought, maybe not. There's not another, it's just those 3, which is kind of surprising because the majority of the airports in this region do have multiple American Airlines destinations over 3. So we're talking about Wichita, Tulsa, Little Rock, XNA, Oklahoma City, and others. So Springfield a little bit behind in that curve, but I certainly will talk about what I expect to see from Springfield, as I'm sure that additional routes will be coming for them in the future for American, very similar to the situation that Wichita's in. So yeah, just a little background on each service here before we get started. The Atlanta service has been established by Delta for a very long time, so not too much to elaborate on there. I do think they've seen some 717s previously, but right now it's the Sierra 900, so awesome to see some mainline there for them. I believe Denver was the first route for United, and then at some point in the mid-2010s, maybe the late 2000s, they added Chicago and Houston, so that's absolutely outstanding to see. American has had Dallas for a very long time. They've historically always have flown it on regional jets. I've not seen any mainline here yet. I think that will change as well, but we'll talk about that in a moment. US Airways had the Charlotte service, so that's the reason why that's pretty established here. It's a 3 daily, so that's why you see that. And then Chicago's been the other supplemental service that American Airlines has operated, and they operate that twice a day right now. We'll talk about that more momentarily. And again, Allegiant, the majority of these routes have been added through the mid-2010s. Cool story here with the airport, Springfield. I actually was in Springfield, Missouri 6 years ago now, which is crazy, 2018. for one of my brother's baseball tournaments, and I was not able to go to the airport, but I was able to see many Allegiant Air flights taking off. So that's what I certainly remember from that trip. And I remember seeing Tampa, Orlando, and I don't believe Punta Gorda was there at that time, but quite a nice variety of services that Allegiant had at that time. So Allegiant had the majority of these. The newest one is Destin, obviously. That was probably started in around 2019. And the other services, Austin, Hobby, that unfortunately have terminated. Those were, I believe, 2021 editions. So certainly missed those. I thought those were pretty cool, and unfortunate that we won't get to cover them today, but still cool that they at least attempted those, and who knows, maybe more service will come to the airport. So we'll do some more speculation throughout today's airport update, but I'll go ahead and get it shifted over. Also, we have 2 runways here at the airport, 1432 and 220. So that's really cool. We have a variety of FBOs and hangars and other services here too. The concourse is over here on the southwest side of the airport. It is one massive rectangle here, pretty simple. They do have really cool extender pieces. Unfortunately, I don't have the adequate resources to represent those correctly, but just imagine that there's like an extension piece here and then jet bridge comes off of it. So that's another unique aspect of the airport. Otherwise, it's fairly standard, excluding some gate positions I'll talk about here in a minute on this side. So, but all the gates are pretty stretched out, so it is pretty interesting. So certainly not the most unique airport in the world, but also fairly simple at the same time. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. So here at gate number 1, we have this Delta Connection operated by Endeavor Air CRJ-900. This aircraft is coming in from Atlanta as DL5039. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 10:04 p.m., but it lands in extremely early at 9:38 p.m. All flights today are coming from Thursday, February 15th, 2023. So really cool to see this. Again, the Atlanta service has seen a variety of 717s. I think that's more of a summer trend here, but this is the only legacy carrier that's operated mainline fairly consistently here. So really cool to see that. And Delta's had mainly 3 daily usually is what they operate here, but they have done as many as 4 and as a few as 2 from my observations. So I don't stock Springfield every day, so I can't confirm exactly if that's the amount of routes that they have, but they do, or sorry, frequencies, but I know that they do mix it up a little bit there. So ultimately, really great to see this here at gate 1. It looks fantastic. Also, I should get the particular numbers for what airlines operate what. I apologize about that. Delta uses gate 1 and 3. United uses 3, 5, 7, and 9. Mainly United will use 3 during the day. It just depends, sometimes on overnights too. But from what I saw, they are mainly in this area over here. This is 9A. United will use this from time to time as well, but they're mainly over here with these gates and jet bridges. So this is 9, this is 9A. And then American Airlines uses 6, 8, 10A, 10, and 10B. So 10 has 3 positions here, and I don't know why this was implemented like this, but I'm assuming what happened was they wanted to save on bridges and didn't want to rename it, so they just made 2 stands here, probably when they renovated the apron, so they could have the hard stand gates here and just use 1 jet bridge, because not all of these flights go out once. 3 is more than sufficient for their needs. So they have 10A, 10, and 10B. So this gate will actually pivot over and over. From what I've seen, that appears to be how they do it. I can't confirm that, but if somebody knows, feel free to let me know, but I believe they pivot right here, so that's really cool. And then again, 8's American, 6 American. I've not seen anybody use 4 lately. I'm not sure if Americans used it from time to time or what the case is. They do have a jet bridge there, so I can't confirm that. So not exactly sure, but 4 is open, and then gate 2 is Allegiant. So absolutely outstanding there. And of course, Delta's 1, and they will use 3 during the day sometimes. It just depends. But anyways, looking good with those aircraft. Already getting into the United Express operation, let's go ahead and get started. Here at gate 5, we have this United Express Embraer ERJ-145 for commute air with the winglets, that is, excuse me. This aircraft is currently arriving in from Denver as United Airlines Flight 4253. This aircraft is scheduled to arrive in at 9:49 p.m., but ends up arriving at 9:36 p.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour, 26 minutes. So ultimately looking good here at gate number 5. So awesome to see United with their services. This is their leading service. It's a 3 daily service, which is pretty sufficient. Houston and Chicago are 2 daily. And again, I believe those were implemented sometime in the last 15 years or so. I don't know exactly when, but yeah, considering the size of Springfield, it is really cool to see that we have this much United service here. So it's really cool. Typically, this service is on 50-seat jets, so the 145 and the 200 is what you mainly see for this service, along with its counterpart right here. Huge shout out to TPA Geek for doing an outstanding job on this Shapeways custom. He absolutely killed this. Here at gate number 7, we have this United Express Embraer ERJ-145, also for Commute Air in the Evo Blue livery. What a debut for this aircraft. This aircraft is currently coming in from Houston as United Airlines Flight 4343. This aircraft is scheduled to arrive in at 9:44 p.m., but arrives in way early at 9:10 p.m., so definitely gets a nice tailwind boost there. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 10 minutes. So really cool to see this. Again, it varies on which gate this aircraft will use. Sometimes they use 3, sometimes they use 7. It really just depends, but I have it here at 7 to keep it kind of congruent. And again, the Houston service only twice a day, which is a little surprising. They have an afternoon flight and a evening flight. Although I'm sure in the summer they probably have at least 3 flights, possibly 4. They certainly uptick it on that Houston service in the summer. So very cool though to see that sustained year round, of course. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see Denver on the main line. XNA will be getting main line this summer for United, so that's a huge milestone for them. So maybe Springfield will follow, we'll see, but certainly a bunch of demand for that connecting traffic. And also I'm sure there's some point-to-point traffic to Houston, as that's the only way to do it if you're going to do it out of this airport. And here at gate number 9, we have this United Express Embraer ERJ-175 on the behalf of SkyWest Airlines. This aircraft is coming in from Chicago O'Hare. It's United Airlines Flight 5550. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 9:37 p.m., but also gets a really nice early arrival here of 9:04 p.m. It seems like United always blocks plenty of time in their schedule for their big airports for the taxiing so that they're not delayed because of that, but it appears that it's been a pretty smooth operation lately. As you can tell, planes are arriving in 30 minutes early at all airports, it seems. So awesome to see this. Again, this is 9, this is 9A. Chicago for United is a twice daily service. It's on the E175 now, which is really awesome. So really cool to see the dedication here, and Chicago's been going well for the airports in the region, so great to see that. American only operates it twice a day, so certainly plenty of opportunity there for United, and I'm glad to see them taking advantage of it here. So here at 9, we have this 175 going out to Chicago. Alrighty, so here we go with the stands here for 10, 10A, and 10B. So this is how they do it. They'll just pivot the gate over here for every aircraft. So what you're going to find over here is American has 3 Dallas overnights, a Chicago overnight, and a Charlotte overnight. So we're going to pretend that all 3 of these are Dallas, and usually 2 out of the 3 of them will park at one of these positions anyway. So it's pretty realistic, to be quite honest. So we'll start right here with gate number 10B with this American Eagle Embraer ERJ-175. This aircraft is currently coming in from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. This aircraft is American Airlines Flight 4092. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 10:04 p.m., but ends up arriving in at 9:41 p.m. Good for a flight time of 54 minutes. The Dallas service is definitely the most flown route here out of Springfield, as one would think. This is flown usually 6 times a day in the winter and then up to 8 in the summer. All 175s since the 145s have been gone. I don't know if they'll change it up any, but I've seen all 175s, so pretty cool. I believe Springfield also facilitates Envoy maintenance base. I'm pretty sure that's right, so that would make perfect sense why they're so big on Envoy here. I bet the employees are Envoy and whatnot, so makes a bunch of sense there. So that's really cool to observe. So awesome to see all these Springfield 175s. Here is the next one for American Eagle. This is coming in from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. American Airlines Flight 3665. Aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 11:53 p.m., but it arrives in at 11:34 p.m. Good for a flight time of 57 minutes. Again, it's really cool to see all these various 175s and how they position them, and just no variety here for America. It's one of the few airports that I've seen, at least, that doesn't have any CRJs. Well, I take that back. You're going to see one here in a minute, but with regards to the majority of their ops, it's mainly the 175. At 10A, where the jet bridge is, we have this Embraer ERJ-175. You guessed it, he's coming in from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. It's American Airlines Flight 3359 at scheduled to arrive at 8:21 p.m. He arrives at 8:02 p.m. Good for a flight time 54 minutes. A little early for the termination here, and it's kind of interesting because they literally have a flight an hour before this that comes in and then goes back to Dallas at 7:30 p.m., which is interesting considering that they don't have a flight from Dallas since 4 p.m. So I would think 4, 6, and 8 would be a little bit more balanced, but they have 2 within an hour, so I'm sure they probably do fairly well on it. The outbound is probably a little tough, but you got to compromise some logistics there. So ultimately though, very cool to see all these frequencies, and it's going really well over here. Then we're going to land over here at gate number 8. We're going to find this American Eagle Embraer ER-170. This aircraft's coming in from the Chicago O'Hare International Airport. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 8:47 p.m., but arrives in at 8:26 p.m. Good for a flight time on American Airlines Flight 3362 of 1 hour and 15 minutes. So cool service here. It does get up to 3 times a day during some times of the year, so certainly nice. And again, they don't have any other service, no Phoenix, no Washington, no other routes. So definitely got to have some capacity there to make the network flow there for American. And last but certainly not least, we have this American Eagle Embraer ER-175 for Envoy, also over here at gate number 6. This aircraft's coming in as American Airlines Flight 3913 from the Charlotte Dulles International Airport, scheduled to arrive in at 9:55 p.m. He arrives in at 9:33 p.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour 50 minutes. Again, this service originated with U.S. Airways, so that's why Springfield picked it up so fast. U.S. Airways flew to XNA and Springfield. They never flew to Tulsa or Oklahoma City until American merged with them, and then they started that service right before they merged. So very cool that they originally started over here in this area and did really well with it, with their connectivity. And of course, American picked it up. This is usually 3 daily 175s, could be up to 4 or 5 in the summer. Maybe we'll see mainline there at some point too, like what XNA is seeing. We'll just have to see. But currently, great to see that they are doing well with that service right there. And over here, I'm going to take this flight from the following day, Friday, February 16th, to get a really unique destination here. Here you're finding the Allegiant Air Airbus A320 with Shotcut. This aircraft is currently coming in from the Punta Gorda International Airport. I'm currently actually tracking it live as we speak, which is kind of funny. This is G42542. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 5:29 p.m. and he's currently on pace right now to arrive in at 5:34 p.m. It's going to be just slightly behind at 5 minutes, but not too bad at all. Total flight time should equate to somewhere in the ballpark of 2.5 hours. So absolutely awesome to see Allegiant with that Punta Gorda service. Definitely the coolest one here at the airport in my opinion. But again, they facilitate Destin, Tampa, Orlando, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and the other service is Phoenix Mesa. So glad to see that. Depends on the frequencies for all of these. The Florida ones are really high. Destin's like 5 times a week in the summer. So is Tampa, Orlando. And then in the winter months, usually 2 to 3 times. So it's nice. And Phoenix, LAX, Las Vegas, all those are really great services. So really cool to see that. For the day that we are currently working with, a flight from Tampa came in, a flight from Phoenix Mesa came in, and a flight from, those were the 2 for Thursday. And then the following day on Friday, we had a flight from Orlando, Punta Gorda, and Las Vegas. So they distribute those pretty well. So ultimately, really awesome to see Allegiant's presence here. They certainly have gave a very affordable option to an airport like this that, you know, some airports this size do not have any low-cost carriers yet, which is kind of crazy. I know that like Wichita does, but I'm sure there's a couple others that do not have it. So we'll be visiting Wichita very soon. I'm looking forward to that, to use the glass jet bridges and whatnot. But anyway, really great to see Springfield here on the go. And we do have 2 final aircraft that we're going to take a look at because they are absolutely fantastic. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Springfield does have a little bit of cargo ops between UPS and FedEx, typically flying the Boeing 757. Here's the UPS Boeing 757-200. This aircraft is currently coming in from the Louisville International Airport. They also get A300s from UPS too, which is really nice. However, it just depends on the day. This aircraft is currently coming in, scheduled at 5:06 a.m. Arrives 1 minute early at 5:05 a.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 11 minutes. So it's really cool to see the variety that UPS sends here, especially for the size of the airport. So that's really awesome. And last but certainly not least, we do have this Air Wisconsin Retro American Sear Day-200. I haven't got a chance to use this in an update yet, I don't think, so I just thought I'd throw it in for fun because why not? Because they do operate these in the middle of the day to Chicago. This aircraft is currently scheduled to come in at 11:57 a.m., but comes in at 11:35 a.m., definitely ahead by 22 minutes. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 15 minutes. During the day, American will mainly use the jet bridge gates 6, 8, and 10, so really cool to note that. This one came in from 6, and now he's departing back out to Chicago for us today. So yeah, overall, Springfield's a really cool airport. They get a bunch of their traffic coming in from Branson, which is a really big tourist destination in the area. Branson does have an airport, and they do have a Sun Country service to Minneapolis right now. They did have Frontier for several years to Denver, but that airport's never had a established daily service. So hopefully they'll get one sometime. It's a really cool place. I went in 2021 and enjoyed it during the pandemic because obviously airplanes were not as safe to fly during those times, but luckily it seems to be safer now. So that's really cool. And we had a great time. And also here, I'll show you, since I have it here, what the terminal looks like from the satellite. And we also have this United 175 here right now going out to Chicago most likely. But here's what the airport looks like from the top down. And let me know if you like these views, and I'll definitely show them more in the future. Also, huge shout out Flight Radar. The app's so good. I love it. I just can't get over how great, all symmetrical it is. And I was even able to figure out that American uses those hard stand gates thanks to the amazing tracking. So that's really cool. So he should be going out right now to Chicago like anytime. So let's see. It is this flight right here. Actually, slight delay for this aircraft, but here's kind of what a look at the flight board looks like. United does have that CRJ200 in the morning. Then they have Community Airs. There's a delayed American wants CRJ today. I don't know why they're all delayed. Delta has the 3 daily service. There's Orlando, like I was talking about. They actually have the Dallas service on UPS, which is very cool. So that's awesome. And you can see here the other various routes and what goes on during the day here at Springfield. They do have quite a few private jets, of course, because there is no other bigger airports in the area. Here's Springfield right here, and then Branson is right here next to Table Rock Lake, which is a very cool lake. I'd recommend going if you do get a chance to do so. So it's about an hour drive on the highway right here, Highway 65. So very good right there. And then here's Branson. They get a bunch of traffic off of Branson. They get mainly private jets and the Sun Country flight, which maybe can't, I don't know. I think it might be summer only, but anyway, it's certainly nice to see that. But yeah, there's the region right there, and you can see what's going on here at Springfield. So very cool to see, and glad we got to catch a United 175 while we were here at Springfield. So yeah, that'll do it here at the Springfield Branson National Airport. I really hope each and every one of you enjoyed this. I've really had a fun time with the Southern Plains Model Airport series, bouncing around the region and seeing what these airports provide. I'm not sure what we're doing next month, but we'll have to see. Might do a little bit bigger one. I would like to do El Paso on some of those here in the future. So just trying to balance it out a little bit. And I had fun with the 3-way update we did last time. So we'll see what we do next time to get into our next update. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust process. Do you love and love what you do? My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.